Welcome all. I'm joined today by Tandilyan. Ms. Tandilyan was first elected to the Armenian parliament in 2017. After the 2018 revolution, she was appointed as Armenia's Minister of Labour and Social Affairs. In December 2020, after the Second Karabakh War, she was appointed in Nagorno-Karabakh as Minister of Social, Labour and Housing. Now, she has founded a new political party called the Country of Living Party, the Country to Live Party, I beg your pardon. So Ms. Tandilyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the invitation.
So I want to start off to ask about this new political party. Former Minister of Labour and Social Affairs, Mr. Արգելյան, is also involved in this new party. The party did pick up some seats in local elections that just happened. Can you introduce us to this new party? What's its agenda and what are its priorities?
It is a newly founded party. We have started in August, and just several months later we have started participating in local elections, which is very important to us, and this is one of the differences and agendas of Country to Live Party, because we consider that strong communities are the basis of strong country, and we cannot and we will not have strong country if our communities are so back from all things that are happening in our country and agendas. Why I'm saying so? Because when we go to rural parts of Armenia, we see that people have completely different problems and different agendas on their daily basis. So we think that we need to resolve these problems to be able to go forward. And without resolving a lot of troubles that people have, we will not be able to speak about high-level ideas and ideologies. On the other hand, we have Artsakh on our agenda, and I have to say that we treat it very seriously, and security as well as education are our top priorities, because we understand that they are interconnected. Without good education, we will not be secure, and we also understand that our security highly depends on how we think and behave and what we do and how. So in all this sphere, education has its own part. Also foreign relations, which we have broken always, we were able to, and now we need to think of strategic partnership with all countries we are surrounded with, and also we need to understand how to go forward and what will be Armenia and should be Armenia in the future. So we are there to define what is future of Armenia and Armenians, what we want to be and how we can reach there. And all this will be on our political program. Why I'm saying will be, because we start discussion from January. We plan to start from January discussion with all experts and different political groups, and we need to define what is future Armenian, and then begin doing things now to reach there.
So obviously in a lot of countries, local elections are seen as a basis and indicator for possibly national elections. And the local elections that just happened were quite interesting because the ruling civil contract party suffered some setbacks in Gyumri, in Goris, and also in Mehri. I'm wondering what you thought about the local elections that just happened and maybe what they are an indicator of. And on top of that, in November, Ijevan, Kapan and Stepanavana voting, and then in December a whole swathe of communities are going to be voting. So what did you think of the first round that just happened?
First lesson that we have learned is that unfortunately not for all parties local problems are on agenda, and these parties are interested in resolving those. And here there is gap between people and parties, and we as a newly founded party understand this and wanted to fill it, and we saw that we more or less succeeded in doing that. And what we have learned from that, actually we have participated in 5 communities out of 6 proportional elections, and what we have learned is that people in local elections vote for their person who will resolve their own problems in local community. Mm-hmm. So they are not politicized as much as parliamentary elections, which is true. On the other hand, election in local communities do not go like anti something or someone. They are mostly for something, and or for a person. So right person doing right things will have success. In that sense, you have addressed the situation that ruling party didn't win in different parts, which is true because, as always, they are not doing right things, and even people they promote from their side is not the correct one. And sometimes we are receiving feedback from people. Who are these? We don't know these guys. We don't know how they work before, what they were doing. And people vote for those that they know, and they know in a good way. So in that sense, we have succeeded because we are gathering people who have something done already in their communities and have the same way of understanding both politics and situation the way we do. And we work with them and go with them in local elections. Also, we need to understand that people have completely different problems in different regions. Like Gyumri people have different problems from Mary people. And this is where we need specific treatment for issues they have for the people to understand that we hear them. And this is how we approach the things, and we will be doing later on. In December, we are participating about more than 10 communities. We will be participating. In November, we just didn't have time to approach there as well, but in December, we'll be again in our participation in local elections.
And you were part of the cabinet in 2018, and now you're part of the Artsakh cabinet, and you were previously a member of Edmond Marukyan's Bright Armenia party. So the Country to Live or Livable Country party, it's seen as distinct from the government now, but also it's seen as distinct from the parliamentary opposition. What was interesting in Mehri was that the Republic Party did very well, also the Liberal Party did very well, that are seen as distinct from the current parliamentary opposition of the Armenia Alliance and the I Have Honor bloc. During the 2021 elections, people would speak about a third option. Is the Country to Live party part of that third option? Is it distinct from both the government and the current parliamentary opposition?
Definitely distinct, and it is now, I hope now it is obvious, because we want it to be seen and to be accepted as we are and as distinct we are. So in that sense, I'm happy to realize that it happened during these elections, and people will be sure in that even further. Because I don't want our people to go to vote anti-something or someone. This is time and time again is happening to our country and our people. I don't want this to happen again. I want people to vote for what they want to. And the proposal we are preparing for them is designed for that. We are a party which is going to win because we are good enough to win. And rather the others are bad so that we win. And this is how we work. And we will be talking to our people through our work, things we have done in different communities now, and also our background as a political faces. In maybe a short time it is, I understand, but still we have some things done already. And I want people to know about us from our works, things we have done or we didn't, and they judge us during elections. This is how it should go. And I'm unhappy with this election, with parliamentary elections that happened in 2021, this wording and bad wording each other all the time. It is awful, and we are not in the position to continue like that. We need to understand that we have common interest as a nation, and we need to lobby this interest, and if we are not doing it together, we will be destroyed from all parts as it is happening now. So in that sense, I'm happy to see that people now learn who we are, where we come from and what for, and they will be judging us by our things and works. I hope so.
And you were a minister, as was Mr. Arakelian, and the Country to Live party is now separate from the government. But what is the problem with the current government in the eyes of its former ministers and a new political party?
Actually, for me, situation mostly has changed after Artsakh war, and unfortunately, I see that there is no political party which has Artsakh on their agenda as it should be, rather than just complaining from each other or accusing each other in different things, but to have things done right for issues to resolve. And I do not see it in any party. So as to the positions, to me, appointed positions are always have limitations, and I had these limitations as well. And it is natural because you are not in the team which is yours, but you are part of cabinet. For example, I was after revolution, and it was like all Armenian government kind of things, and you have to have ideology together to go forward. And I worked as much as I was able in that position, in that situation. But I understand that we need to get together with a group of people who share the ideology of how Armenia should develop, how it should go. And only together with the team, we are able to go forward, rather than appointing this cabinet or that, and you have definite limitations because of different situations.
And there was talk about your cooperation with Russian Armenian businessman Ruben Vartanyan, who recently was also in Gyumri opening a new park which will be regenerated. Can you tell us a bit about it? What sort of projects you've been working on together, if there are such projects?
It is interesting that you call him a Russian Armenian businessman, because mostly he has businesses, if I'm not mistaken, all over the world, also in Europe, in different, probably because he was living there. Actually, his businesses is not that is of our interest or my interest, because I see him as a person who has done a lot for preservation of Armenian identity, for promoting it, for showing it in the best way possible. And this is where from our cooperation comes. And I share all ideas that he's promoting mostly. And we encountered during the Future Armenian project that they have initiated, and it was so close to my heart, and I'm part of it. And then we had some talkings, and we understood that we really want to use all Armenian potential, because it is huge, but we are not using it. And here we failed, and all 30 years policy and politicians have failed to use all Armenian potential. And also we understand that we as a nation have things to give to the world, and we are not doing this because we are limited with so many problems. So we have idea to resolve it together, to own these problems and resolve them. So we have different programs we do together, and he is supporting also the idea of our party, in sense that we all understand that there are a lot of problems in our country because of politics. That is why it is a mean to resolve problems. So for me and for him and people we are together, both political party and position are just means to reach the goal. And what is the goal? So we are setting the goal together, and together with him we are doing different projects, like 100 houses in Artsakh. He is supporting this project as well, I'm happy to say this, and different kind of educational programs we are thinking to start, and how to proceed with that. And our cooperation is really ideological, which I'm very happy to say.
And let's talk a bit about Artsakh. You've spent a great deal of time in Artsakh, even as a minister, dealing with issues like housing, which is a major issue at the moment. But there are security issues. There have even recently been skirmishes. Some people think that Azerbaijan is really trying to make Artsakh unlivable and to depopulate the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. What do you think needs to be done to encourage the population to stay, for people to start families, to have their lives continue in Artsakh?
So even if we do not realize some stuff, when I say we, I mean we are in such a vulnerable situation. We we are not understanding sometimes what we can do to help the situation. But even the fact that Azerbaijan is trying to depopulate Artsakh, which you have mentioned, which is true, we need to realize how important is that to populate and keep population of Artsakh living in Artsakh. So in that sense, this is very, very important and strategical thing to follow and to do. And that is why my work there during these 9 months that I have been there working as a minister was to bring back all Artsakh people they wanted to, provide them with any means they are required to continue their living in Artsakh, in their homeland, because this is their right. And one of the biggest problem is housing. And in that sense, that's why also now I'm fully involved in that project to construct houses in Artsakh. And I really call everyone to find a means to make their input in construction houses or some other work. But it is very important to have housing there in short period of time. We have been talking about 3 years after war, so 1 year is passing, and because families, we understand them, they need to make their decision where they are going to live. If they do not have houses and homes in Artsakh, they will not be able to return. I have to say that 120,000 people have returned out of 150 were living before war, which is really impressive amount, and people willingness to return need to be supported by us. So what we need to do some economic activities there, whatever is possible for people to have self-sustainability while living in Artsakh, and have houses and have homes as much as possible. Currently, construction work is in place all over the Artsakh, what we have left with, and in that sense, I consider this to be very important. So. And having the opportunity, I need to say that 100 houses in Artsakh is project supported by all Armenians, and every drum is directed to the construction, and there is no other expense. And I'm co-founder of Artsakh to Live Foundation, which is doing financing and collecting money and doing construction work together with Armenian public television. I'm very thankful to all our partners, people who donate, and they can see online their donations are received, and they're directed only to the construction. So in that sense, to me, our first priority should be populating Artsakh with Armenians, so that then we can fight and preserve their right to live in their homeland. And this is where we need to, again, follow Artsakh question and have it on the table.
And how do you think Armenians in Artsakh perceive their situation? And do you think the current Armenian government is unpopular in Artsakh?
Is it popular in Armenia? So in that sense, the election results we have is not showing the popularity of government of Armenia. It is anti-Kocharian election to me. But anyways, we have the results. And this government is to face the challenges were created after war, and they need to keep connection with Artsakh, both Artsakh government as well as people living in Artsakh. Yes, there are challenges, and there are a lot of questions people still do not have answers, and they need to answer all those questions, explain, communicate, even if it is not understood, and even if they are wrong, they need to face their mistakes talking to people. And I'm very unhappy to realize that officials do not visit Artsakh, or they are avoiding, and they are not that much welcomed. That's why they are avoiding. It's not an excuse. You need to be there and work with your co-partners in different ministries in Artsakh to be able to keep these connections tight. And in that sense, current government is doing everything to be unpopular in Artsakh. So if they act properly and in the right way, situation can change.
And how do you see the future of Artsakh?
I see the future of Artsakh as Armenian, definitely. And we have to do for that everything we can, even more. When I'm saying this, I mean also on political arenas, and understanding that means co-chairing countries understand that Artsakh issue is not resolved, and we need to stick to that and keep it. Also, we understand that cessation for salvage theory that is promoted should be going forward with that concept. It is important because yes, our people have a right to live in Artsakh. These are Armenians, and if we go with that, I think that we will be able to protect the right of Armenian people live in Artsakh, but we also understand the situation that they will not be able to continue their lives with the surroundings they have. So the theory of cessation for salvage should be followed. In that sense, we need to do everything because Armenian people have given a lot for Artsakh to be Armenian. That's why who we are now to support this agenda. And we need to do everything for that.
Mm-hmm. And finally, with the local elections coming in November and December, will the Country to Live party be fielding candidates in most races or all races even? How can people follow the progress of the party in elections?
Yes, we will be there. As I said, we will not be participating in November just because of time shortage. Mm-hmm. But in December, we already have about more than 10 places to participate, and we'll be doing all our campaign the way we did before, and in a way that we talk to people about ourselves, our programs and things we are going to do. And I think that this approach is accepted and understood by our people, and we want this unity for them to feel that we will be with them in different ways, like local councils and then parliamentary elections, everything. So we will be participating in the life of our people.
Okay, Ms. Tandilyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for this interview.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.